Yikes.
That's right. The big number, 2012, for Republicans, of course, will be in the wilderness for at least 2 years in the House and Senate, and 4 years perhaps or more in the White House. In any case, Republican governors from around the country are gathered in Miami for a meeting that is getting underway as we speak. And the question on everyone's mind is, where does the GOP go from here? The annual gathering is getting a lot more attention than usual, and of course with good reason, because the chances are that the future standard bearer for the Republican Party is likely in attendance. Rising stars like Governor Bobby Jindal, Charlie Crist, Tim Pawlenty, Haley Barbour, and of course Sarah Palin are all going to be there. Palin is getting a lot of buzz right now. She'll hold a press conference tomorrow, and then she will be the first speaker at a panel discussion titled Looking Towards the Future. This morning, she, in an interview that aired on the Today Show, she told Matt Lauer that after spending much of her time criticizing Barack Obama on the campaign trail, she is okay with him as president, pretty much.
I'm comfortable with Barack Obama as our commander-in-chief, assuming that he has those around him who recognize, as I'm sure he will recognize also if he doesn't already, that terrorists have not changed their mind. They still would seek to destroy America and our allies and all that it is that we hold dear to us.
Let's go right to NBC's Michelle Kaczynski. She is live in Miami, where that meeting is going to get underway this afternoon. And Michelle, what can we expect over the next 2 days?
Hi, David. Well, there are a number of meetings and sessions. In fact, it's really just getting started now this morning. There hasn't been a meeting at which the press could attend. There are also some optional events for these governors and their wives and husbands, including a cruise for a day of beauty and pampering, to which the press is not invited. But the important events today really going to be a plenary session at which they'll talk about and analyze the 2008 race. Look at what worked, what did not. That is open to the public, and the Governors Association has promised unprecedented press access. That meeting today that I just mentioned, Sarah Palin will not attend that. We expect her to come in tonight, attend a reception, and then tomorrow she'll be delivering some remarks and also a press conference preceding it for that session that is titled Looking Toward the Future, the GOP in Transition. So among these big questions, including, is Sarah Palin a rising star in the Republican Party? Is she already a star? Will she be a formidable force for the next 4 years? There will also be questions of what is the direction this party will take. They're going to be looking at things like social issues and the approach to those. And of course, linking those to what didn't work for the 2008 election. Sarah Palin, of course, is getting a lot of the attention, but as you mentioned, there are other stars and rising stars in the party that will also play a role, including Florida Governor Charlie Crist, Bobby Jindal, and Tim Pawlenty. We are going to have access to all of them, so we will hear what they're going to be talking about shortly. David?
So interesting. Michelle Kaczynski keeping track of the Republican Governors Conference meeting in Miami. Michelle, will be talking with you a lot over the next 2 days, and thank you. Just ahead, John McCain is joking about the past, but some people are wondering about his future. Does he have one politically? Where does McCain go from here?
It's been a week since the election. How you doing?
Well, I've been sleeping like a baby.
Yeah. In 2012, you'll be 76. Still a young man.
Yep. Here we go again.
Give it another shot.
Yeah, I'm ready to go again.
Ready to go again?
I wouldn't think so, my friend. It's been a great experience, and we're gonna have another generation of leaders come along, and I hope that I can continue to contribute. That's all.
That was John McCain on The Tonight Show last night, putting some distance between himself and any talk about a White House run in 2012. So what does the future hold for the Arizona senator? Keith Richburg is New York bureau chief of the Washington Post. Chris Stirewalt is a political editor for the Washington Examiner, which did endorse John McCain for president. And Keith, let's start with you. How much political power can a losing presidential candidate really have when they return to the Senate? And if the Republican Party has things go their way, maybe they have only 42 seats in the U.S. Senate.
Well, a losing candidate can contribute a lot to the direction of their party. If you look at, say, John Kerry, who came out of a pretty close, close contest against George Bush, and he became a big voice in the Senate, and he went right back into work again. In John McCain's case, it's a bit trickier because he really never had good relations with Republicans. In fact, his whole appeal was being able to walk across party lines. He was not loved by Republicans, and so it'll be interesting to see what role he takes on. I mean, it must be pretty bitter for him having lost twice now, and I really wonder whether he'll run for re-election to his seat again.
Chris, any insight on that particular issue?
Whether or not McCain would seek re-election to his Senate seat?
I'd have to think so. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, given the proviso that, as Keith pointed out, and John McCain talked frequently, he was not miscongeniality, as he liked to say, in the U.S. Senate. He doesn't have the sort of large number of friends that John Kerry did. A lot of politicians don't like to return to either the Senate or the House when they are the party in the minority. And you complicate all of that for John McCain with a lot of people, a lot of Republicans saying, well, he'll, of course, always be associated with the 2008 loss.
Well, sure, but, you know, even as the Washington Post was endorsing Barack Obama, they were pointing out in that endorsement what a valuable asset John McCain's been in the Senate. And I think that he's a creature of the Senate. I think that is part of why he was unsuccessful as a presidential candidate. He loves compromise. He loves to negotiate. He loves to haggle, and he likes to find the middle ground. That's who he is. That's what his career has been all about, going back to 1982 in the House. So I think John McCain will be quite happy to return to the U.S. Senate. I think he'll be, and I think we'll continue to see him doing the stuff that he was doing before.
Do you envision John McCain being something of a power broker in terms of, as the GOP tries to regroup and try to figure out who will be their sort of future leaders? Can John McCain's endorsement of support of anybody in particular, can that be a crucial role for him?
Well, I think he probably won't do it, and I think, quite frankly, if he did, it would be damaging to the person. The Republican Party got itself together behind John McCain for this try, this little push that they made this year that didn't quite amount to a campaign, but was an earnest try. And I think that in terms of the party leadership and in terms of the party structure, they're going to be very content for John McCain to go back to being a maverick.
And Keith Richburg, real quickly, what should Barack Obama do in terms of trying to ease John McCain's transition?
You know, that's a really interesting question. You know, because he's talked about having this kind of unifying government, saying we've got to get past this kind of red and blue and all that. I mean, it would be, you know, it would be a really big gesture if he tried to embrace John McCain, use John McCain in the Senate to try to get Republican support, you know, for some of these big initiatives that he's trying to get through, things that they can agree on, like some of the climate change issues. So I think you might see, you know, John McCain and Joe Biden, you know, kind of reaching some kind of agreements and things when it's difficult for the Obama administration to get other Republicans on board.
Keith Richburg, New York Bureau Chief of the Washington Post, Stirewalt, the political editor for the Washington Examiner. Thank you both for coming in today. We appreciate it.